With the 15th pick and with the 26th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Washington Redskins select Dwayne Haskins, Montez Sweat.
Welcome, all my fellow Redskin brethren and sistren. I am your man and resident Redskins fan, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on the Redskins Report. So, I'm coming in much better spirits this time. The last video I did, a little somber. You know, we can't have nice things. And so I had to dress in all black like the Omen and be the bearer of bad news, talking about Quentin Dunbar. And that situation isn't gone just yet. It's not done. It's not over. There's still a chance that can be salvaged, although it sounds like Dunny's made up his mind. We'll see what happens. But this was a situation that just a year ago, we thought that situation, was not repairable. And hell, I thought that Trent Williams was gone. And I told you guys on several different videos, he's never coming back. He's never donning the burgundy and gold again. And that we've seen Trent in a Washington Redskins uniform for the final time. And it was disappointing, but we had mentally moved on from Trent Williams. We thought that he was going to be playing elsewhere. And he ultimately may still be playing elsewhere when it's all said and done. But I talked about Ron Rivera and what he said last week and how he referenced Trent as still being our guy. And so I thought that was a step in the right direction. We talked about that last week. And I said, I'm not that, upset and I'm not that, taken aback that he hasn't talked to Trent yet. I thought he would have talked to Trent, by now. That's what I said last week. Well, now he's officially talked to Trent Williams. At least that's what the report is that Trent Williams and Ron Rivera spoke for the first time since Rivera got the job as the Redskins head coach. And by all reports, it was a very positive meeting between the two. And once all of the changes were made in the front office and Larry Hess was ousted and Bruce Allen, which were probably enemy number one and number two for Trent Williams, or maybe 1A and 1B, depending on how the situation unfolded or maybe when you asked Trent. The fact that those guys are no longer here, I thought that there was a chance that fences could be mended, bridges could be extended, and this thing could get resolved and Trent could come back. Now, again, same thing I said about the Dunny situation applies here. When you look around and it's a bunch of funny faces, it's easier for you to just walk away. For Trent, the fact that there are new faces here may actually help in getting him back to Washington. If the same faces were here, he definitely would not want to be here. So I think that Trent Williams is a guy that we as fans would like to see back in Washington. Not all of you, but most of you want to see a guy like Trent Williams finish his career here because, as I've mentioned, we don't have many Hall of Fame caliber players on this football team. Haven't had a guy with the talent of a Hall of Fame type of player on this football team probably since Sean Taylor. All right. A lot of the guys that have come through this building or come through Washington, Redskins Park, I should say, or come through the Redskins organization, either were Hall of Fame worthy before they got here or played their best football elsewhere, or they just weren't, And so I look at a guy like Trent Williams with the resume that he has, and if he can play another 4 or 5 years and finish out his career strong, I think he's on that same track as a Jason Peters, where you're thinking this guy's going to be a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done. And I want that to be in a Washington Redskins uniform. And so I want him to come here. And not only that, we don't have a left tackle. I mean, it's a position that is of the utmost importance in the NFL. When you start ranking the positions of importance in this league, because there are no left-handed quarterbacks in the league, that's going to change with Tua Tagovailoa here shortly. But because there are no left-handed throwers right now, the most important offensive line position is left tackle. All right. Now, if you're a left-handed quarterback, then your right tackle is more important than your left tackle. But like as I mentioned, there aren't many of those. As a matter of fact, there aren't any right now in the league. And So your left tackle, after quarterback, pass rusher, I think the next best position, the next most important, I should say, is probably offensive tackle, left to be exact. So we don't have one of those right now. It's imperative that we resolve that position because you got Dwayne Haskins back there and you feel like Dwayne is the guy of the future. Well, you got to protect him. You got to give him time to show what he's capable of. Trent Williams is the man for the job. And so we're hoping that he's, one, healthy enough to come back, two, mentally wants to come back, and three, we hope that the Redskins can find a financial agreement with Trent that fits all parties involved because, again, yeah, Trent can want to come back and the Redskins can want him to come back, but guess what? There needs to be some financial compensation here. The same thing Dunny is complaining about right now. I need my long-term bread. And if you're not going to offer that up, I'm going to have to go elsewhere. Dunny's like, I'm not playing on my final year of my deal with no guaranteed money. Trent was the one that started that movement in Washington. I'm not playing on the final years of my contract with no guaranteed money. It just doesn't make any sense. And from the player perspective, I absolutely get it. If you're the organization, I understand why you're disappointed because that player signed the deal knowing that the back end of his contract was going to have no guaranteed money. But he was fine with it because in his mind, I'm going to get my money up front. And by the time we get to the back end of that contract, I'm going to be looking to re-up and I'm going to get me some more guaranteed money. So I won't even have to worry about those last 2 years. Or in the case of Dunbar, the last year of my deal where my money is not guaranteed. I'm going to get a new contract and I won't even have to worry about that. Well, it didn't happen for Trent Williams. It hasn't happened for Dunny yet. And so in order to get Trent back on the field, and Trent told us plain as day when he came back last year and had the candid sit down at his locker, I need money. Not saying that he's broke. He's saying, I need my money. If you want me to play, I'm not playing for a contract with no guaranteed money. Guys of my caliber in this league don't do that. You know, and he started throwing out names. Rodgers and Watt and Brady and Bree. These guys don't play on non-guaranteed contracts. It's just not smart. Look at J.J. Watt. He tore his pec. Not to say that the Texans were going to release him, but as a player in the back of your mind, you think of these things. What if something happens and I can't play anymore? I need my guarantee. I need to know that I'm going to be taken care of. My family's going to be taken care of if something were to happen to me. I need to have that financial stability. And playing on a non-guaranteed contract doesn't provide that for you. So, yep, Trent could want to come back. The Redskins could want him back. But that money's got to be ready. And it's got to be right for everybody involved. And if the money sounds funny, I don't think it's going to be a deal that gets done. And ultimately, Trent could still be moved. But it's great to hear that they had a quote-unquote positive meeting in Rivera and Williams. And I'm hoping that's the first of a number of meetings that take place to kind of resolve this situation and maybe bring Trent back in and continue his career as a Washington Redskin. There are other things to discuss. I may do a video on what Doug Williams had to say. I thought he had some really interesting things to say. Or we may just save it for when we decide to go live, if that in fact takes place this week. We'll figure all of those things out. I'll figure all of those things out. We'll figure it out together. In the meantime, you guys, make sure you like this video. Subscribe to the Louie T Network if you haven't already done so. Remember, I am a Redskins fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Redskins spirit will never die. Redskins spirit will never fold. Until we meet again, hail to our beloved Washington Redskins. You know, if it's not your man T, it's not the best NFL coverage it could be. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel and like this video. And stay tuned for more great content here on the Louie T Network. That being said, I'm your man, Louie T. I'm going to glide to the side. Leave it in the comment section. Do you want Trent back? Are you excited about this positive meeting between he and Ron Rivera? And would you be willing to extend that deal out to Trent, whether it's fully guaranteeing his contract for this year, which I think is $15 million or so, or would you be interested in extending him out 2 or 3 years or possibly more to get Trent to stay in Washington, or are you done with him? Did you wash your hands, rinse it clean of Trent Williams last year when this whole ordeal took place, and you want no parts of him? Leave it in the comment section. Anyway, you guys have a good one. Take care. We'll talk next time.
Louie T Network.